माननीय सदस्य श्री जी के पंडवी जी।
Thank you, Chairman Madam, for giving me the opportunity to speak on this extremely important and serious issue in the House. I stand in this House today to express my deep concerns regarding the Disaster Management Bill 2024. It is extremely necessary to examine its various aspects in detail and in an analytical sense. I will present each aspect of the bill in detail so that it becomes clear why this bill poses a significant challenge to the country's disaster management framework. Firstly, I would want to ask the government and the concerned minister for carefully explaining the legislative intent of bringing this bill. It is not enough to just introduce the bill. It is not enough to just mention the statement of objects and reasons of the bill. I would like to know whether are you trying to resolve some conflict? Are you trying to follow some honorable Supreme Court orders? Are you trying to resolve some pending court cases? I think that should be there in the introduction of the bill, or at least in the reply. And Chairman Madam, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'll straight away dive into the contents of the bill. In Section 2 of the Disaster Management Act 2005, they are trying to insert an explanation under subsection 1 clause D, which I'll read it out right now. For the removal of doubts, it is clarified that the expression man-made causes does not include any law and order related matter or situation, or any situation arising from law and order related matter or situation. I want to ask the government, why not? Why cannot a law or an order of the government be considered man-made cause of disaster? Is the government immune from responsibility? I would like to know the clarification from the concerned minister as well. Also, they have tried to mention man-made causes. They have defined disaster, but they have not defined man-made disaster. I think it is very important because, as you might be seeing, that we have had n number of railway accidents. We have had bridges collapse in this country. We have had forest areas being converted into non-forest areas and used for non-forest activities. I think that's a very big disaster, and therefore we need to name it as Modi-made disaster. A man-made disaster. So I request the government to definitely look into this, and I think that word should be inserted inside this. I would also want to ask the government that they have mentioned the word climate just once in the bill. They have not mentioned climate change at all. I want to ask the government whether they are interested in introducing the definition of the word climate change in the bill, or are they refraining to accept that there is no climate change. Also, I would like to mention that they are trying to insert a clause DA, which is talking about disaster database. I like the idea of introducing collecting data in this database, but in the definition of it, they have only mentioned that central government will give input. The government should know that the state government are also stakeholders. They should also be considered. They should also be asked whether what kind of statistics and data should be collected from the state government. So I would like another request from the government to give clarification regarding that. In clause GC, they have defined the word hazard. I do not see the requirement of defining the word hazard, because if there is a word called disaster, we are talking about Disaster Management Act. Why are they defining the word hazard? They are defining hazardous events. They are trying to define hazard-prone areas instead of disaster-prone areas. So I would request the government to clarify, why are they using the word? Are they using it interchangeably? That kind of clarification I would request from the government. Also, very important clause, that is a clause 36 of this bill, that claims that the word compensation be replaced with relief. I think it's completely wrong to replace the word with compensation to relief, because as I'm a lawyer, I know that compensation is recognized in consumer law, it is recognized in constitutional law as well as environmental law. It is a legal right. Even if the government doesn't accept it, it is at least deemed to be a legal right. So they should accept the word compensation as and how it exists, because compensation is given as a remedial measure when a fundamental right is violated. I would like to mention a case of MC Mehta case, which is AIR 1996 SC 711. The Honorable Supreme Court had held that they have the power under Article 32 to award compensation to the victims of pollution. Compensation, I like to define the word compensation here. Compensation is social insurance. It is a welfare measure by the government. It is a government obligation to protect its citizens. By making it, that you're replacing the word compensation to relief, the government is saying that it cannot be claimed as a legal right, and relief becomes a discretionary option as per the whims of the central government. it cannot be claimed in court, and therefore relief is only obligatory and not extended as a legal right. Also, Chairman, Madam, I would like to mention that since other MPs are present here from the government as well as the opposition, the Member of Parliament has absolute no say in this decision-making process. They are not in any of the committees. They are not in the response team. It is very well said that, yes, they are trying to introduce Section 41A in the bill, which is talking about Urban Disaster Management Authority. I welcome that move. Again, there is no Member of Parliament has no role in it. So I would request the government to at least give a certain role to a Member of Parliament in this bill. It is urgent necessity, because when the problems do arise, people come to us. And we are also stakeholders in the decision-making process. Madam, I would request you to give me some more time. Speaker, sir, had said 3-4 days ago that if you're talking genuinely about the bill, if you're talking genuinely about the bill, you should be given extra 5 minutes. Speaker, sir, had said that. So just kindly give me those 5 minutes. Okay, I'll just try to wrap it up as soon as possible. As other members have also mentioned about the over-centralization. It's not just centralization, it's over-centralization. The central government is trying to absorb all the powers within themselves and trying to take away the powers from the state governments. I would like to give an example that when the Amphan cyclone did occur, the states of West Bengal and Odisha played a crucial role in disaster management. So I think that they definitely the role of the state government should be taken into consideration. Also, I would like to talk about the complexity in emerging financial. Ma'am, I'll just complete in 1 minute, just suggestions. Last line. I will not talk about the other parts of the bill. I would request the government that they take help of advanced technology with ISRO, Indian Meteorological Department, National Remote Sensing Agency. For research and development, I would request that AI, remote sensing and big data analytics to be considered. And when you're talking about rehabilitation, there should be a clause for psychological rehabilitation of the victims of the national disaster. And definitely, I think this bill, they are talking about preparedness in the bill, but they're not prepared to execute this bill. So I think they should reconsider the whole contents of the bill and reintroduce it again.
माननीय सदस्य मियां अल्ताफ जी,
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।